Is Jack going to be able to do the lower bracket one if uMx were to lose this game? Welcome everybody to the OMEN WGR European Challenge Closed Qualifier. We've got uMx versus Sangal, and well, of course we've got uMx. We're on the uMx channel, of course. I'm MJ Castle. I'm going to be bringing you this game, and this is actually the upper bracket round 2. So uMx, these are best of ones. They beat the Saints 16-14. Remember that Serbian side, a lot of talent over there. Really, really impressive win. Very narrow one at that though. And as we come on to this second matchup against Sangal, if we are to win this game, then we will actually qualify for a spot in the main European Challenge, which would be awesome for our share of that $15,000 prize pool. If we lose it, goes down to the lower bracket. We're not out yet. We would be up against Red Fear to try and take that qualifying spot. But let's not get there yet. Let's stick at what is at hand. Sangal, really, really talented team. Of course, the Turkish side, the core three, essentially the ex-Space Soldiers roster, Major, Paz, and Engine. These guys have attended multiple majors. This is a really, really stacked side with a lot of talent. But uMx, they look to try and take down this giant beast. And well, the last time these two teams played up against each other on Vertigo, it actually went to overtime. It went the distance. Right now, Sangal kicking things off on the pistol round. Heavy utility. You see Logic Man and Engine both dropping the Kevlar, saying we're going to go for the util right now. 2 smokes, 4 flashbangs in players. They stack up towards the A ramp. They have to be careful of their flank, though. uMx, they've taken control towards B. They're not actually going to push all the way around. Instead, they want to try and backtrack. Make sure they've got the men towards this A bomb site to try and deal with this push. And well, we're hard stuck on Major right now, who isn't really part of the action. But in the meantime, Sangal, they are taking this A bomb site with force, and it's not working out too well. Giraffe, Mazza, and Artist finding 3 headshots of their own. Mazza spamming away. There's a second, and well, it all comes down to Major, the man we were watching at the start. Now the man we're no longer looking at as Tadpole puts a bullet in his head, and he is dead. Dunzo, see you later, Major. uMx take the pistol round on the CT side, gives them this 1-0 advantage, and that was a really nice round. They keep 3 players alive, the retake's flawless. They actually play it very, very nicely indeed. They take the initial contact, they don't over-contest, they don't over-commit, they find these opening picks, they fall back, they wait for the rotations to come in from B, wait for all of the pieces of the puzzle to fall into place, and then they hard hit it, get that defuse in, and make sure that they don't take too many casualties. Coming up into this second, rifles on 2 of these players. In fact, 3 of these players, premium rifles in the hands of Mazza and Tadpole, accompanied by a couple of MP9s as well. They're the cash builders, $600 a piece for kills with that weapon, remember. And they face up against the full Galil buy. That's the prize you get. If you get the bomb plant, you lose the pistol, but Emor's not going to get anything more. A little bit of damage, gets spammed away by the MP9 of Extinct. An Engine right now, trying to creep around towards B. We can't see players' hands. I'm not sure why. There we go. They're back. Artist. We get to see his hands, and we get to see him find 2 kills, maybe 3. Not quite. He's certainly done his job for this round, though. And this has been a clean sweep from uMx. Really nice stuff. There's another further damage. The nade comes in. Surely finishes off the job. That is a perfect Kobe. Lands right at the feet of Logic Man. And that is almost a flawless second round. uMx, they keep 4 players alive. Artist, the only man that's dropping, but he'll have no trouble reinvesting. He was one of those MP9 players anyway. So he'll, not have any issue in reinvesting, buying himself an M4. It's unfortunate they weren't able to carry across either of those SMGs, because if they had have done so, then there's an opportunity to rack up some further cash against this eco buy. But quite frankly, they'll be happy. They've got 5 rifles in hand. They're ready to deal with this one, and they're ready to build up that cash before they go into round number 4. That's where the buy will come out for Sangal. For now, uMx should be relatively uncontested. Just some presence towards the ramp. Flashes come over just to try and keep them at an arm's length. And Sangal, they've actually managed to take quite a lot of leg room here. They've taken the ramp control. They've not run into any trouble just yet. uMx, they're taking control elsewhere. I'm sure soon, though, they'll start to reconverge on this A site. And look at that! That is unbelievable! Such an awesome boost from Paz, and he accompanies it with an awesome headshot. I've not actually seen that before. I don't cast a whole lot of Vertigo. Often doesn't seem to come up in my matches. No particular reason for it, but that is a very nice boost and something that I have not seen. Gives them a really nice opening pick, but they're not checking their backsides. Maz is able to get a dink in, no frag. And Tadpole, a boost of his own. There's the headshot onto Major. That is an incredibly fast flick. Major out of the equation. With 30 seconds left on this clock, keep an eye on it. Watch it tick down. Sangal, they're running out of time. They're running out of options. There's time pressure continuing to mount as it ticks further and further down. Only these pistols creeping onto the A site. They realize it's their only option. They're going to be funneled straight into the blender. Tadpole dealing further headshots. There's another. Taken out by the Tech 9. And Sangal, they've done a lot of damage here, but with 6 seconds on the clock, the C4 in no man's land, there's no opportunity for the round. It's not in contention any longer. An Artist knows it. He's just going to stay afloat, make sure that uMx do take the round win. But that was far too close for comfort, and they definitely took more damage than they were hoping to take. So, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a successful round from uMx, but they consider themselves lucky that they managed to hold on to it. They do still have this lead. They have clean sheet as well. Double AWP setup in play now. Not something you see every day on Vertigo. It is somewhat viable. You put one AWPer towards that A site, one towards middle or B. I'm interested to see if Maz is actually going to go for an early pick here or whether he plays this more disciplined, slower CS. It's actually Artist over towards ramp. And there we go, early pick, round the corner of the smoke. He's got the M4 to support him too. Unfortunate he couldn't connect an opening shot, but with the flashbangs coming over, they're hungry for more. Dinks come in, Molotov finishes off the job, and more out of the picture. An Artist dealing further incendiary damage, forcing Sangal back. That is beautiful Counter-Strike at its finest. Sangal, they had taken so much control, they were getting comfortable in their own shoes. And those incendiaries just push them right back. Now they have to re-establish the control that they already had. But with a minute left on this clock, that's not something they want to be doing. uMx right now, the utility usage has been perfect. But now they've run out of it. They've deployed all of their nades. There's still a minute to be played. The actual execute about to come through for Sangal. They've conserved the majority of their util. And uMx have to rely on the firepower. They've got the man advantage. They've got the HP advantage, but they need to convert for more kills. And there we go. Giraffe and Extinct. Trade 1 for 1, but that's good at this point. uMx still with the man advantage, still with the site control. Quick shot from Paz to level out the numbers, but he can't follow through onto Tadpole. He's got him down to 6 points of health. The nade goes over the top, won't do much more than a tickle of damage. In fact, a little more than a tickle. Gets him down to half, but Tadpole shouldn't be too worried about it right now. Masks is dropped with the foot with the shots, but oh my goodness, that's insane. Parryland with the shot through the wall, and Paz finishes things off quite nicely. uMx, unfortunately unable to convert the buy round. It was very close, very contentious, but not quite enough. Sangal, 1 on the board. And just as a showcase of how close these rounds have actually been, despite the fact that uMx have actually taken 3 in a row, they are down to absolutely nothing. They're down to a double eco, $1,500 on all of these players. They have to pull out these deagles. To be honest, I don't even count them out of a round like this. We have some serious talent on this side. Very capable aimers with these deagles in hand. As the nades come in, oh, they don't do any damage. Neither do these smoke spams. Extinct can't quite connect anything for now. Any more? Oh, tagged up through the wall. Bullets wishing past his head, and Giraffe, he's got a nice advanced position. There's the first, wants to try and follow up, maybe try and snatch away that AK, can't quite do so. But it's a 4v4, and Sangal, they're sticking around, and they're taking damage while doing so. uMx, considering they have the information that 4 players are sat towards ramp, I'm actually surprised that Tadpole doesn't try and get some kind of flank going. They're a major firepower disadvantage in this round, and he could use this opportunity to get a real advanced position. Sangal are making some serious mistakes here, where they are just funneled into the lower B ramp. Oh, sorry, A ramp. And they're not pressing forward off of it. They're not trying to take these engagements. They're not trying to fall back towards B. They've basically just depleted this time. Now they have to deal with the pressure of the clock running down. 35 seconds to get onto this site. Still the Deagles to contend with. Boost in play, but it's not coming to fruition just yet. There we go. Major walks into the sight line. Extinct takes him out. The issue is they've found 2 frags, but neither of the rifles are retrievable. They push right through alleyway to try and pick one up, but Engine's there to pick up the pieces. Now the man advantage for Sangal, but 15 seconds left on the clock. No opportunity for the bomb plant to be denied, and Mazza, in trying to do so, gets his life stripped away from him. Paz with 2 kills to finish things off, and a really good round there from Sangal all in all. They did make that mistake at the start, as I say. They definitely took too long in the A ramp. Had uMx hit a couple more shots towards the tail end of that one, certainly could have added major complications for the Turkish side, but they pick it up nicely at the end. Paz with the 2 kills required. Engine with 2 of his own. And Sangal, they're right back into this one. It's 3-2, but remember, they're up against an eco, so should be a level begging scoreline. The nades do, or should at least, come over. They are deployed. They don't do any damage. Anymore. Able to farm some kills, farm some cash with that Mac 10. $600 a piece. He's already profited off of it. Profiting further. He's made himself, what, $1,800 right now? Gun only costs about 1,000. Finally put to sleep. I don't think uMx will be allowed a whole lot more than that. 4v1, Tabbolt all on his lonesome. Desperate to just try and take down one more man with the USP, and it's not going to happen. Sangal, they level out this scoreline. 3-3. But it is now going to be another buy from uMx. So round number 7 is where the big guns come out. We'll see some good Counter-Strike once again. The issue is there are a few contingencies here for this uMx buy. There's no AWP here available. There's a real lack of utility too. You see Extinct, Tadpole, and Mazza, and Artist too, in a position where they can't afford an incendiary. We see a lack of smokes. Certainly going to be difficult to hold this defense. And Sangal, not a penny to spare. They have got everything to work with right now. The AWP, all of the rifles, a little bit of over-aggression there from Extinct. I would have liked to have just seen a flashbang accompanied with that push. I like the aggression, but it needs to be coordinated. He needs to have a man there to support. Peeking in dry, never going to work. As they go for the boost towards B, Tadpole, he's ready and waiting for it. Spams away. Unfortunately, through those metal grates, you actually do very, very little damage. So despite the fact that he's read it nicely and he's cut out the potential of the boost coming through, he's actually only done, what, 16 points of damage onto Emor? Definitely should have been more. Just the way the map plays out. Sangal, man advantage. I'm going to backtrack back towards A. Engine with only 5 points of health. So, Sangal, they do have this man advantage, of course, but not really the HP advantage. There we go. Now they've got a lot to work with. Artist drops, no rotation, no man to catch off the middle player either, and Giraffe, his position anticipated. Spam right through the smoke. It's probably save time for Mazza and Tadpole here. No utility. 3-man disadvantage. No chance in this round. Mazza fires through for 1, tries to be the hero, and it doesn't pay off whatsoever. Gets a bullet in the head as a response. Paz, the man to do so. He's been on fire so far this game, and Tadpole left on his lonesome. This definitely saved time for him. Maybe wants to try and take out Engine. Get that AWP out. Maybe try and pick it up for himself. That's going to be a lot easier said than done, though. It's been handed over to Major. Engine doesn't want to risk it on his escape. And Tadpole should just stay alive here. I don't think that'll give them enough to buy in the next, though. Their loss bonus really is starting to mount. Of course, they've lost 4 in a row. But they certainly won't have enough to go for a proper investment. We'll probably see a couple of pistols come out here. Maybe some Kevlar. Bearing in mind they'll have the 5-round loss bonus in the next, so they can definitely justify buying down to like $1,500 on the majority of these players. Instead, a little bit more discipline. We see Mazza go for the PT50 Kevlar. Everybody else just with the Deagles. Artist keeping a little bit of extra cash, not over-investing, just to make sure that that number is even with the rest of his teammates. They're going to go for some aggression towards mid. Artist with the flash going over the top, and they're hoping to try and catch out an early man. For now, they won't be able to, but they do still clear out middle. Sangal, and they've now got a nice flank in play. Major seems to be aware of it, watching his back, doesn't want to push in and risk death, so instead grabs his C4, deploys a smoke, and they'll get out of there, try and get back onto that A site. Smart play. Yeah, Sangal, they seem to have just recovered this one quite nicely. In the first 3 rounds, they were really struggling, and it was evident. They seem to have taken this game back by the reins. And they now lose by 2 rounds against uMx, and should have a flawless round here. No, it's Tadpole, the only man with the weapon to go 1-for-1. Of course, they will have a big old buy in this one. Actually, the double AWPs come out as well. It's Artist and Mazza to pull them out. Remember, Artist saved a little bit of extra cash in the last just to make sure that he could actually go for this AWP investment. Counter-Strike in the freeze time can be a little bit like darts. You've got to do some serious quick maths to work out how much money you have, how much money you'll have at the end of the round, and what you'll be able to buy. How much you can invest, how much you can afford to invest, I should say. Artist trying to go for the opening pick. Mazza, in the meantime, gets it towards mid. That is a lightning-fast response from Logic Man. Crazy flick upwards. A lot harder to hit than it may seem, but in the meantime, Giraffe's found one more. Ramp control established here for uMx. And Sangal, they're kind of stuck in mid right now. You can't plant the bomb in mid, so this control, irrelevant for now unless they can fight their way out of it. Paralam finds himself one more, but Artist there to trade it. Nice that he anticipates the peek from on top of the box. As Logic Man falls. And uMx, they've done incredibly well at trading these frags and maintaining this man advantage. As soon as Sangal are allowed a freebie, uMx are in a tricky situation. But as long as they stay on top, as long as they play together, they trade these kills, they should be able to play out this round and come out on top with it. It's just Engine and Major alive. The ex-Space Soldiers players, the old teammates, they've been together for years now, playing under various brand names, but still a similar roster. They're not able to get anything done here in the 9th. Major drops Extinct. He's able to take out Engine, who follows the same fate. And uMx, they get themselves onto 4. Round number 10. uMx. Of course, they've still got all the tools to work with. They had a really, really good round in the last. I think they kept 3 players alive, so definitely still plenty of weapons in the armory. AWP on both sides too. Artist, the man to have it for uMx. No double AWP this time. Mazza, of course, was traded in the last round. He wasn't able to carry it across, and they just don't want to opt for it again. It's a little bit of a kind of one-and-done strat, a party trick to cure you around. Not something that's massively repeatable, though. Giraffe, nice spam through the wall, gives them the man advantage. Is instantly traded, but Extinct, he's the danger man, and as soon as he swings the AWP out of the equation, Logic Man, who's been very, very dangerous throughout this map so far, now eliminated. An Artist on the flank, not the usual suspect that you'd see coming round from the back lines, but he's the man to apply the pressure from behind, and Tadpole, he's able to put the final nail in the coffin. It's actually unfortunate that Artist wasn't able to put that flank into fruition, but the pressure's there regardless, and it funnels Sangal actually into that A site. Tadpole's able to retrieve that AWP that was fallen, and he can drop it over to Mazza too. And now we go into a quick pause. See, I can see the chat, so I'm not sure what this timeout's for. I don't think it's of a tactical nature. But they are ready. Paz has already said he's ready. So, unpause comes through. Nice, quick one. That's what you like to see. Hate to see a match plagued with technical timeouts. It's often just one of the contingencies that comes with online CS, I suppose. You've not got any admins that can swoop over to the PCs and fix any issues. Luckily, that's not the case today. uMx, once again, with the fall by the double AWP setup. Sangal, remember, they won 4 rounds in a row, and they won quite 4 quite convincing rounds in a row too. So they were able to rack up their bank accounts quite substantially. They can go for another full investment here. They've got this AWP and Logic Plan, rifles and Kevlar, utility to support it, a full belt on the majority of these players. And they actually have enough to go for an investment again, too. Considering uMx have won the last 2 rounds, if they make this one happen, it'll be a 3-round loss bonus for Sangal. On top of that $1,500 to $2,000 that they've got in the bank on the majority of these players, they will have enough to go for another buy. So uMx, even if they win this round, they're not in the clear just yet, but they're doing incredibly well to keep this one so close. 2 in a row essentially needed to be allowed a freebie and pull away, and that will put them on to 8 and beyond. That's really what they're looking for this CT side of Vertigo right now, and they're playing it very, very nicely. They have given up this A site. Now they come in for the retake, and they're playing it quite disciplined. It's a shame that they went for that gamble sat towards B and mid. It does cost them the site, but now they wait for all of the teammates to get into position. A little bit of a premature peek from Giraffe there. Perhaps not communicated that the smoke was in play and that his teammates weren't able to swing with him. Not able to do much damage with the MP9. It might just be save time here for uMx. They're locked out of this site. They don't really have the right utility to get back into it either. A HE could make the difference, maybe even a Molotov. But it's just not in the belt. They have to fall away. They have to save what they have. These double AWP setups far too valuable to just throw in the bin. Real back and forth CS at this point. I honestly can't tell you who's going to be victorious in this one. Fingers crossed it's uMx. I'm allowed to say that as well. I'm normally not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to be biased. But we're on the uMx channel, and we've got the uMx fans here. So let's get talking in the chat, guys. Let's get hyped. uMx. This is for a qualifying spot in the Omen Challenge. There are some serious teams in this tournament. A lot of top 50, top 40 HLTV teams in the entire world, and uMx are playing at this kind of level. It's absolutely insane. It's awesome to see. Round number 12, much slower stuff from Sangal. Logic Man, he's got his AWP in hand. I think it's probably his favorite weapon. uMx with all the tools to work with too. M4's on 3, double AWP setup once again. Presence towards B early on. They've got this boost on the A site. I actually like this. I'm not sure what kind of sightline it gives Extinct. I think it maybe gives him a little bit of a gap towards alleyway. I'm not too sure what he can actually see here. Either way, opening kill comes through. Anymore, he gets traded instantly. Extinct's there to pick it up. Giraffe falls though, and that's the boosting man gone. Extinct, his position's anticipated. They know that he's fallen back behind the boxes, and they're able to just plow through Major right through the smoke onto Tadpole. And it leaves Mazza all on his lonesome. He has to go for the save here. Absolutely no point in falling in here and dying, but I don't actually think uMx will have enough to invest into the next either. So very, very big round for Sangal to pick up. And uMx, they just need to keep this one close and contentious. They need to make sure that they take 6, maybe 7 rounds realistically on this CT side. And then when they move on to their attacking side, we've seen how powerful these guys are. We've seen the potential when it comes to the aim, when it comes to the duels. They can certainly come out on top. They just need to make sure it's not too far gone by then. And oh my goodness, Mazza, that is mental. Desperate to stay alive with this AWP, and he's ready to pounce on anyone that tries to snatch it away from him. That is a ridiculous no-scope, and we didn't get to see it, but I'm sure it was another. Such a crazy player. And actually, uMx have got enough to invest in this one. Not going to be the best of buys, but there is an AWP on the floor. Maz are able to drop an M4. Everybody else able to scrape one together too. No helmet, only 2 kits to work with. Lack of utility on Extinct, but it should be sufficient. Giraffe with that MP9. Not too much of a problem if he's playing up close towards ramp as he has been. Instead actually falls back. He's playing towards the back of the site. Extinct's the danger man. He's the point of contact. And the utility usage from uMx, I said it before, it's been fantastic towards A. They've used all of these nades to keep Sangal at an arm's length, and for the first minute of the round, they keep them at bay, and it works perfectly, and it does some early preliminary damage too. But then it's later on when Sangal pounce that it becomes problematic, and right now the trades, they're just going uMx's way. On top of the utility, they decide to go for the swing, the heavy presence, and Sangal, they're just not expecting it. A must-win round for uMx to keep this one close and within 2, and they absolutely do so beautifully. Amor is able to find a headshot onto Mazza, but in the meantime, Extinct should be able to come in from behind and take him out. Timing, impeccable, and Amor able to sneak away, but not for much longer. The AWP retrieved, Extinct with a 4K, a massive round from the man. And uMx on to 6. You see these swing rounds. Opportunities where Sangal can pull away. Take this half, 9-6, 10-5 in their favor. uMx just don't allow it. They keep applying that pressure. They keep their position in this match very, very prominent indeed. Unfortunately, that incendiary goes right into the smoke. Doesn't do any damage whatsoever. And uMx, despite the fact that they've got a full investment here, because they lost 3 players in the last, they actually don't have everything to work with. There's a real lack of utility on a lot of these players, and primarily the offensive utilities. We only see a couple of incendiaries. We see 1 HE. Everybody else just with the smokes and a couple of flashbangs. Going to be difficult to hold on to these sites, especially as Sangal are stacked up towards B. Still a 5v5, 45 seconds ticked on the clock, and this is where the execute comes through. uMx, they have a read on the situation. The rotation's already coming through, but the flashes are perfect from Sangal. The 1-for-1 trades right through the smoke. Extinct lands a headshot. 4v4, C4 yet to go down, and the longer Sangal wait, the longer uMx have to get into position. Extinct right through the smoke. He's wrapped around the back line. That's a perfect play, and he's able to get 2. Not quite the 3rd, but enough damage dealt, and the info relayed for Giraffe to come in and put the final nail in the coffin. uMx take it to 7, and we will be seeing an 8-7 half, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure which way it's going to go just yet, but I certainly think that it's leaning towards uMx, considering Sangal, finally, their bank account is broken. Their economy management throughout this half has been sensational. They've actually managed to pull out a full buy in pretty much every single round, other than the first 3. Finally, it's down to a point where they have to opt for these Tech 9s, couple of Mac 10s. Paz the only man that can actually pull out a rifle. And he's got nothing to accompany it. I can't imagine they'll be able to do a whole lot. And I love this. uMx responding with aggression. Artist pushed right up B. Not only does he find that opening pick, but he has all of the information to work with. He knows that it has to be a mid or an A hit. They don't have to divert any attention towards that B ramp area of the map anymore. And they can put all of them then, all of their firepower, just watching this mid-cross. Unfortunately, they just don't win the aim duels. Paz goes massive. Mazza bounces back. Extinct with another, but he walks straight into the waiting crosshair of Logic Man. And Sangal, they do take it to 8. So it's a good half from them. It's actually a good half from both sides. 8-7's kind of that break-even point where you just shake hands and you say, yeah, good half, guys. But considering the lead that Sangal had, remember at one stage, we saw it go 5-3, then it went 7-5. They were really in the driver's seat for pretty much the majority of this half. uMx have done very well to take those little bursts of rounds and keep this one contentious, keep it within 1 or 2 rounds. And now the second half pistol. That's what they're hoping to take here. If they do so, they level out the scoreline. They can pull away further. Major and Engine, the 2 players that aren't opting for the Kevlar here. And actually, this isn't often that you see this. Normally in CS, especially at this kind of level, you see 1 player opt for utility on the T side. You normally see 1 player on the CT side go for a kit and a little bit of util, maybe a flash or 2. This game, we're seeing 4 players on the server right now. 4 of the 10 players alive have actually opted for no Kevlar and full utility. Artist and Giraffe got a lot to work with right now. Engine, the man with the kit. And as they burst onto this A site, these flashbangs could certainly be deadly. Engine, he's doing so much damage through this smoke. Unable to find a kill. The nade stack comes through, gets him down to 14 points of health. They can eliminate this kit. And Sangal lose track of it. It could be detrimental. But as they push through the smokes, the flashes, they're perfect, but they're not swinging off the back of them. They're taking so much damage. They're taking heavy casualties. and Sangal, they're able to come out on top. That was an incredibly messy pistol round. But Engine, I feel like he's the MVP of that one. Not only 2 kills, but he also gets the defuse. He stays alive so that that kick can come into play. And he deals crazy, crazy damage through that smoke. Just making it so much harder for uMx to actually get away, get those post plants. It's just unfortunate that when they went for that secondary press, tried to push through that smoke, didn't work out for them at all. Deagle's in play now for uMx. They're not going to go down without a fight. We've seen how dangerous they can be with these pistols in hand. Fortunately for Artist, he's not able to show any magic this round. Instantly eliminated by Emor. He's got himself an AUG. One of the more powerful weapons on the server. And Mazza, Deagle towards mid. Oh, that's a snappy headshot. Major in retort gets a headshot over towards ramp. It's with the MP9. Perhaps not as impressive, but certainly as impactful. And uMx, they just haven't really been able to do a whole lot of damage this round. In a round like this, you're not really expecting to win it. I suppose you're either hoping for a bomb plant or to do some economic damage to your opponents. They haven't really been able to do either. Extinct wants to try and change that. There we go. Another kill comes through. One more, and this would be fantastic. Just from a damage point of view, that AUG now out of the picture. Has to check his flank, though. And, well, there's an MP9 ready and waiting for him. Logic Man takes him out. And Sangal, they take it to 10. They now lead by 3. That's the danger of taking the pistol round. An 8-7 gives you a really, really good advantage. uMx takes some mental resilience right now. Coach Biscu needs to come in here and say, right, boys, we need to win this buy round. We need to close this gap, and we need to actually take the lead. Throughout the entirety of this game, they've kind of been on the back foot, but they've been allowing Sangal to take a little lead. Then they bounce it back. We come close, contentious. Then it kind of goes back to Sangal again. They've really been controlling the pace here of Vertigo. And uMx need to bounce back with force. Artist looking to find this opening pick. Giraffe in the meantime towards middle with that supporting flash. Meanwhile, he could get caught with a nade out in his hand here, but oh no, it's gone horribly wrong. Extinct and Artist, they've come in the wrong way. They're facing the wrong way. And the AUG just tears them apart. This has been an incredibly unsuccessful round from the British side. And Tadpole, we need to try and pick it back up. There we go, 3 kills. Tadpole stepping up to the plate when needed. Damage through the smoke, not quite the kill. And Giraffe needs to find the final man. There we go, headshot comes through, 1-on-1. No idea where Logic Man's coming from, but walking into his crosshair, probably not the best idea. Wanted to try and find the kill instead of go for the plant. Had no idea if he was from a close or a far. That is really unfortunate from uMx. A valiant attempt from Tadpole. Incredibly young talent. Just not able to tip it over the top. Now they don't really have enough to go for a proper buy here. Tadpole going to go for that hero AK after his hero plays in the last round. Does not surprise me at all. Everybody else standing around that $1,500 mark. They will have not quite the max off bonus, but about 2,900 on top of what they have going into the next. They will be able to afford a buy. That nade not doing them any favors, though. 3 players tagged down to half HP already. And Extinct, as he lingers towards the B ramp, he'll almost certainly be spotted by Engine. And there we go. Snappy headshot. That was pretty quick. Puts Extinct right to sleep. Man advantage here for Sangal as they look to make this 12 and probably should be able to make it 12. The utility usage towards mid has been sensational. uMx. I mean, what do you do right now? You don't want to save. A would be the right play to go for here, but they need to take care of the single man, the AUG. It's Emor posted on the angle. The flash actually takes him off of it, but as he goes for the secondary swing, headshot comes through. He calls for the rotations from his teammates, and it's all a big bamboozle. This has been played perfectly. The MP9 of Logic Man now needs to do all of the heavy lifting, and it actually does so. So much damage through that smoke. Giraffe does trade it, but it buys enough time for Engine to get into position. Opportunity for maybe the C4 to go down if Tadpole can cross, but he's not merited that luxury. Major puts the final bullet in the chest. Sangal now lead by 5, and this is definitely the well, the largest margin that they've led by throughout this game so far. uMx desperately need to close it. This is a must-win round. This is kind of that turning point. Their backs are against the wall. They need to come back swinging. If they don't, Sangal could get on to 13, probably 14 round. Big headshot through the smoke from Extinct to open up proceedings. That massively increases their chances of winning this round. After finding that opening pick, especially on the T side, it thins out those defenses, increases your odds by about 10-15%, and every single man firing on all cylinders. That lifeline adrenaline coming into fruition. It's something that I talk about so often with teams. They're struggling, they're losing their aim jaws, but as soon as they have to win the aim jaws, something in your body just goes, whoop, the adrenaline kicks in, and you just start firing on all cylinders. It's like the nitro button in your brain. A Major realistically just wants to try and save this AK. I'm sure he won't be allowed to. Artist, that is a beautiful off angle. Make sure he doesn't get away with it. Throws away that decoy as well so that he can replace it with a flashbang in the next. Just the pistols here for Sangal to work with. A really good opportunity for uMx to actually close this gap a little bit. They won't be able to close it the full distance. They will have to face up against the rifles in the next, but it's a good start. It will get them on to 9, and with those 2 opening picks, I think that pretty much sealed the deal. Engine wants to try and do some damage with this Desert Eagle. Maybe can do so. There's support from his teammate too, and oh, that's a nice headshot. Can Major follow up with another? Spamming away. Can't quite do so for now, and the B site now firmly in the Brits' favour. uMx, they can tap in these digits, get that C4 planted, and right now, Sangal's only goal is to try and do some further damage. Maybe take an AK out of the equation, carry it across for themselves. And yeah, Emor just hoping he can catch one out on the exit. Oh, he can do so. Won't be able to retrieve that AK though, as instantly Giraffe responds. Bullet in the head, 12-9. Sangal, really, really sensational stuff. Oh, sorry, uMx sensational stuff. I'm crediting the wrong team here. And actually, I was expecting Sangal to have more money in the bank after that round, but I suppose they don't have any kind of loss bonus built up. So they are going to have to actually eat another eco here. It'll be around the $2,500 mark. We'll see some pistols come out. This is more than likely going to be 10 for uMx, though, and they're right back in this. They went from trailing by 5 to now soon to be trailing by 2. Unless the Turks have something to say about it. They bounce back with a couple of Deagle headshots, but that becomes increasingly unlikely. It's uMx. They're just playing some really disciplined CS right now. The only way that a side gets away with winning a round like this is some crazy play. And oh no, Logic Man. The boost. It could have been the crazy play that was needed, but oh wow, he takes a wrong step, he falls off the building, and Sangal, they shouldn't be able to do any damage in this round whatsoever. Giraffe B-hopping around the corner, can't quite take out Paz. Paz is actually good for 2, he's a big impact there. Takes away a couple of rifles, forces some reinvestments for uMx that I'm sure they won't be happy about, but they'll be happy enough that I think they've managed to take the round by the reins, get themselves onto double digits, stay in this one. An engine. Oh, spots ahead. Oh, crispy one, Deeg. No kit in hand, so no real way for him to actually win this round. uMx have certainly got this one in the bag, but they do want to make sure that he can't get away with an AK. He's actually playing for the round right now. I'd have expected Engine to just fall away, save that AK. Even though they're going for a buy in the next regardless, that kind of one-hit headshot potential on the CT side, definitely something that I'd have opted for. Instead, walks right into the waiting crosshair, and yeah, just gets his head torn clean off. Now the full investment comes in from the Turkish side. The double AWP setup in play. This is something we saw from uMx last time. Are they going to go for the run boost? Please, please, please work. Does it work? It worked. Oh, that is awesome. Doesn't actually merit them an opening pick, but I love to see it. And Sangal, if they lose this round, they are right down to the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the cash. If they lose this round, they'll have no money left to work with. uMx will almost certainly be able to level out this scoreline. Not a great start from Mazza. He gets eliminated. Logic Man's AWP able to find that one, and then more with his AWP of his own. He's able to find 2 more. This is crumbling for the British side. That is really, really unfortunate. A round they could have really done with winning as well. They will have enough cash to actually buy into the next, though, and they're not out of this one just yet. Tadpole, we saw a valiant attempt at trying to claw back one of these earlier on. They just need to check the flank, and Tadpole does so, but a little bit too late. Engine's able to take him out, and Major to put the final kill in. Sangal onto 13. As I said before, not in the clear just yet. They do have to face up against at least one more buy here from uMx. I think it will only be the one. Yeah, there we go. They could have gone for an AWP here too, and they actually opt against it. Just the 5 rifle setup. Doesn't surprise me too much on this T side. They want the mobility that 5 AKs gives you. They don't want to be having to lug around a sniper. Don't think that flash has landed where he wanted it to. Nonetheless, fast play towards ramp. They're taking the control. Tadpole with the opening pick. Hungry for more. Secondary headshot. Looking for the 3rd. Can't quite find it. Walks into the waiting scope of Logic Man. But he can relay that information. They can get this C4 planted. Fall away. Take the post plant. The nade lands flawlessly. But it's just a second too late. Can't deny the plant. If Engine denies the plant there, it's a different story. But now it's down. uMx at a major advantage. They just need to hold this line. The AWP, not the right tool for the job on this retake. Logic Man can't quite swap it out. And they're taking a long time to get back into this site. The flash comes over. uMx, they just need to not overface here. They're peeking the angles. It's not necessary, but they come out on top regardless. Extinct, Mazza, Artist, they find 1 apiece. And they all get a little piece of the pie, and they'll be happy with it. 13-11. They bounce right back when needed and actually break the economy of Sangal right now too. They have to eat another eco. It should go 13-12. uMx, they've been denied the lead. They've been denied the draw ever since half-time. And as I say, they just need to pull ahead. This round might be the one to do so. In fact, it won't be this one. If they win this round, it will be next round where they're up against the Rifles, where if they can take it, they'll be able to take the round at the most important part. If you can take the round at the start of the game, it doesn't really make a lot of difference. But if you can take the lead in round number 26, 27, that's where it starts to get dangerous. That's when you shake up your opponents. And right now, against the Eco, a couple of Deagles in play. Major and Emor have been able to do some damage, but only 2 kills found. And I don't think uMx will be too phased by having to reinvest. Artist's got $4,500 in the bank. Major does do a lot of damage there. Has a big impact. It's going to be costly for them. Tadpole even giving him a good old nice shot, because it absolutely was. But as I said before, this is the must-win round, and an actual pause comes through here. Artist, he's the one to call it, and I like this from uMx. Taking a little bit of time, talk over what's going wrong. Well, not going wrong here, but what's going wrong in the buy rounds, yeah? They're having a lot of success up against the half buys, up against the ecos. Every now and again, they'll manage to pull it off against a buy. But the last time we saw these double AWPs in play for Sangal, uMx crumbled. They need to work out how to counter it. Lot of pressure right now. Actually, major, major pressure. They lose this game. Okay, they go down to the lower bracket. They're not quite on the lifeline just yet. But if they win it, they take that qualifying spot for an awesome tournament. No other team in the UK, no other team of this kind of tier is actually in this position right now. And uMx have an opportunity to qualify for a $15,000 tournament for some of the big boys. I'm very excited to see them hopefully get there and see what they can do with it too. Double AWP setup in play here for Sangal. The peak comes through and Artist wins it. Emor, the AWP's dropped. Logic Man, that is unbelievable. Look at that flick. How on earth does he hit that? You can see one eye's on the crosshair, one eye's looking for the lower peak, and there we go. Secondary shot comes through. A lot of nade damage dealt. Logic Man and Engine tagged right down to 25 HP. So despite the man advantage, uMx, good opportunity here. 3A bomb site. They can get this C4 down. Artist with the AWP. Giraffe trying to allow it to happen. Secondary kill with the AWP. Unfortunate miss, but Giraffe's there to pick up the pieces. All comes down to Logic Man. Once again, not got the right tool for the job. The scope peeks out. The barrel spotted. Artist ready to pull the trigger, and he absolutely does so, and he is quick to it. Swaps out that AWP as well. Despite the impact that he had with it, he found not only the most kills in that round, but all of the impact frags, all of the ones that really made the difference. Swaps out to an AUG. Wants that fast-paced mobility, and I actually think that that's what they're going to go for here. Maybe it's just to do with the fact they know they're against the pistols. Doesn't want to get overwhelmed by them. Easily done when you've got that AWP, but finally an opportunity. An open door of opportunity, in fact, for uMx to take this lead at such an important time. They were trailing by 5 rounds. It was 12-7, now 13-13. Oh, no. Those windows just seem to be really temperamental. Every time Artist throws a bit of utility through them, it takes a dodgy bounce and doesn't land where he wants it. Doesn't really make too much difference. They are just against an eco. 3 Deagles in play here is all that Sangal have to work with, and I like the fact that uMx are still playing this with caution. Not over-aggressing, not making any stupid mistakes. They do take a dink to Artist there, but they trade it out quite nicely. Logic Man drops. That's only one of the USPs, though. And as the Deagles start to push towards ramp, they're able to do a lot of damage. Paz with 2. He's turned this round on his head, and he can retrieve a rifle right now. Fortunately for him, Tadpole's there to stab him in the back. And uMx, they respond to that one quickly and efficiently. Eliminate any opportunity there for Sangal to cause some kind of major upset. That would be an awful time for it to fall away. Tadpole and Extinct just make sure that it doesn't. I'd have liked to have actually seen them. I suppose it's important that they just get onto this site, but I'm surprised that Engine hasn't picked up one of those fallen rifles. With that quick 1D, he'll be able to do so. Wants to try and play for this round, though. Not going to try and save it. Instead, pushing onto the A site. Hasn't anticipated Extinct, and he's making so much noise. Extinct can come in from the back and just shoot him where he's not even looking. 14-13, and uMx 1 away from map point here. 2 rounds away from qualifying for the OMEN European Challenge. And quite frankly, if they win this one, they should be able to take it. Sangal, they've invested every single penny they have in their bank accounts. They go for the run boost again. We get to see it from Artist's perspective. Flying through the air, does get spotted. And as he gets dinked in midair, he falls and he takes his own life. That is a very unfortunate way to start the buy-up. Extinct looking to try and trade it through the edge of the smoke. Spots out Umor. It's Giraffe to get the headshot instead. Brings it back into a 4-on-4. Completely untraded. They can push onto this A site. They need to find the opening pick. Extinct. There we go. Wide swing. Headshot. Major. See you later. And Logic Man wants to try and trade it back out. Here's the steps. Here's the burning through the Molotov. But the smoke off of it, right, limits his vision. He's still able to come out on top. Takes out Tadpole. Brings it back level pegging. But as the C4 goes down, the Molotov lands. Giraffe can't hold it. Needs to plant elsewhere. And as he has to plant in the corner, Engine's able to deny it. It's perfect from Sangal. You cannot fault anything right now in this retake. It all comes down to Extinct. 3 points of health, a 1-on-3, an AWP in hand. Probably the smart move to save it, but he wants to be the hero, wants to try and clutch it, and he can't quite do so. Sangal once again play it perfectly. They go for the double swing, and they put that final nail in the coffin. 14-14, uMx. They have a tricky decision to make right now. Do they eat an eco? Do they go for a force? They're not playing for overtime. They are playing for the win right here. Rifles come out, no AWP, 3 AKs, a Galil. Artist only down to that CZ. It's a big downgrade from that AWP. They want to try and get it done. And up against 2 MP9s, arguably, they've actually got a good investment here. And there we go, opening pick. Giraffe wants to get right out of there. Find the first man, get out of dodge. Traded towards mid, but Engine takes a dink in the meantime. It's a shame that Extinct's facing that angle with the Galil. The AK would have finished him off. Bogdan's Law says that he has to swap out, take that AWP, the low HP man. That's how it works. In uMx, they've managed to retrieve that fallen Galil. So there's no longer the contingency of the CZ. Now 4 rifles in hand. 4 versus 4 situation. Still the double AWPs in play here for Sangal. As the flash goes over mid, it's not actually going to merit them anything. They can just go for the peak, realize it's clear. uMx, they've opted towards A. They've had a lot of success at actually finding these opening picks towards A, getting onto the site, getting that C4 planted. It just seems to be Sangal's retakes that are perfect. And as the smokes go up, they have to contend with this AWP on the site. But the smoke, it seems to limit his vision. They can get onto this bomb site. Giraffe pokes over the top of the fence. He's able to find it, spam it away, finds another through the smoke. Further damage onto Engine. Means that he's now down to 22 points of health. He has to fall away and save. Sangal can't afford to go back in for this one. They recognize that if they lose these 2 weapons going into the next, they'll have nothing to work with, and uMx will certainly take it. They secure the overtime at the very least. Artist will fall to the MP9, so he can upgrade to a Galil. I think Paz will be kicking himself. It's not an AK. I don't think he'll... Actually, he probably will want this Galil going into the next. I'm not sure if he'll actually be able to afford much else. I have a little bit of a loss bonus moving forward, but not the maximum one. Giraffe had an opportunity to pick up an AWP there, and interestingly opt against it. They don't want it. They're just going to stick with the rifles in the next. And 3 players staying alive actually means that Mazza and Giraffe can drop AKs over to Artist and Extinct. They can have a full belt of utility, and we are going to have a full healthy investment here from uMx. No contingencies. The only contingency would potentially be that lack of AWP, but it's not, because they could have had the AWP. They chose against it. Final round, uMx. They win it. They take the spot. They lose it. It goes to overtime. A lot of pressure right now, and there we go. It sinks right through the smoke. Opening headshot. Immortal trying to get aggressive. Major tag down low as well. Logic Man, he's been a key player with this AWP throughout the entirety of this game. He needs to step up to the plate right now towards alleyway, but uMx, with that opening man advantage, increases their percentage of winning this round, probably to the 70 mark. Logic Man able to trade it. Uncontested. Gets to fall back to the site. 4v4. Back in contention. Still damage dealt. Only a tickle onto Extinct as they continue to press onto this A site. But Sangal, the rotations are in play. They know exactly what's up. It's a 4-man stack towards the site. Logic Man double dipping. Wants to try and take a pick towards ramp further. Does manage to find it. Gets tagged in the meantime. But Tadpole on the site opens things up. They need to take out Logic Man. And as soon as they do so, the round is theirs for the taking. And there we go. He's gone. The pincer, the danger man eliminated. They can get this C4 planted, fall away, the man advantage in their favor. All they need to do is maintain composure and close out this round, and they take the qualifying spot. Play the trading game. Don't overface. Mazza on the angle. He can take them out if they try and tap this bomb. Tadpole pokes out. Takes the dink. The Artist finds the kill. 3-on-1 Engine. How on earth does he come out on top here? The time pressure. The bomb beeping faster. He's got a kit in hand, but there's no smoke. He has to tap it. Tadpole confirms that he's not actually on the bomb. They don't need to reface, but he continues to jiggle it. And Engine, he finds both headshots. I'm not sure if he's got time on the defuse. I think he might. No, he doesn't. uMx by milliseconds come out on top, and it's 16-14. What a match. Oh my goodness, my heart is racing. But uMx, they go through to the OMEN European Challenge. That is absolutely mental. That couldn't have been closer. That couldn't have been closer. Jeez. Wow. Massive, massive commiserations to uMx. That is unbelievable. They move forward. Everybody's happy. Hopefully everybody watching at home as well. Very, very happy with that one. I suppose I'll wrap it off there. It's been great. It's been a fantastic game. I'm very, very glad that I jumped in last minute to cast this one. I've been M&J Cast. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at M&J Cast. If you want to go and follow uMx on Twitter, it is at uMx_gaming. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned and follow us through our run in the OMEN European Challenge that will be very, very soon. But for now, folks, good night. Yeah, you too, man.